The first Sunday night football matchup of the season starts out with an amazing division rivalry between Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys versus Daniel Jones and the New York Giants. Ryan and I are going to break down the game and predict who we feel is going to win at the end of the video. But before we do that, be sure to leave a comment. Let us know who you think is going to win. Like this video, help us out with the algorithm, and also subscribe and ring the bell to get notified when new videos are made. And Ryan, let's get into it here.
Let's do it.
Super exciting Sunday night football. Honestly, all the primetime games, amazing.
Yeah,
they're all amazing. This is going to be an amazing one. I legitimately feel both teams are fighting not just for the wild card spot, which I think both teams can make the wild card spot, but also on top of that, I think that this division is up for grabs. I think you mentioned the stat in a video a couple days ago. I think in our Sunday night live show, which is on every Sunday at 8:15, by the way. Anyways, I don't think the division winner in the NFC East has won back-to-back years in 10 years. And it makes sense.
Yeah, it's been a very long time.
It makes sense because the Eagles, they have a very tough schedule since they won the division, and they play all the other top division teams. And on top of that, too, even the Commanders are a pretty solid ball club, and they're expected to be the worst team. So there's going to be a lot of potential, I think, for both these teams. And similar to a lot of these these afternoon games and then now evening games, a lot of playoff tiebreakers already that you have to watch out for.
It's been, 18 years since the Eagles won the division 2 times in a row in 2003 and 2004.
Nice. Donovan, there you go.
Yeah. But this division is packed just like the AFC East. Actually, I think these divisions are very similar to each other. This is an extremely exciting matchup because I think the Giants and Brian Daboll, this offense was very good last year with very little. So now that they actually have pieces and weapons, I'm very curious to see what that looks like. The Cowboys went out. They got Brandon Cooks. They did lose Dalton Schultz, but I think Brandon Cooks, he's had a 1,000-yard season, I think, every year except 1 or 2. And so it's just he's extremely good. Add that to CeeDee Lamb, this tight end group that they already have. And then with this defense, they added Stephon Gilmore opposite from Trayvon Diggs. They already have Micah Parsons, and they got Mozzie Smith in the middle. So it's going to be a really interesting game. I'm really looking forward to this one. This is a great way, I think, to kick off Sunday Night Football. Who do you think is going to win this game, though?
So I was going back and forth, and I can honestly see this going either way. But I'm actually going to lean towards the home team. I just have a feeling – I honestly just like Daboll more as a head coach than Mike McCarthy, first off. I actually also, too, I think Dak Prescott has a lot more firepower. I think in this game you're going to need consistency because both defenses are actually really good. The Cowboys defense we know is one of the top in the league. The Giants actually is low-key. They have a really good defense. And so they'll be able to get after the quarterback as well and also do well in the secondary also and defend passing game of the Cowboys. With the Giants, what Daboll did with that offense last year, with how little it had, was very impressive. And now they do have Darren Waller as well, who I think it's just going to be a lightning bolt to that offense. They are getting Sterling Shepard back as well, who is healthy. Let me double check just to make sure. Yeah, he is on that roster. But then also adding depth pieces in like Jalen Hyatt, who I think can really open up a huge deep threat to this team. Then Saquon's back as well. It being at home, I'm just going to lean towards the home team on this one. And I also think, too, the Cowboys – I think the Cowboys are just going to do Cowboy-like things where they're just going to find a way to lose the game, especially in this one against a division rival.
Yeah, and that, for me, I think is why I want to pick the Giants in this one is because Kellen Moore, I think, was the scotch tape that held that offense together last year. He did, I think, everything he could to keep Mike McCarthy from completely just uprooting the success of the Cowboys. And now that Kellen Moore is gone, I have very little faith that Mike McCarthy is going to be pointing all that firepower in the right direction. And I just don't have faith in the Cowboys. On the flip side of that, Brian Daboll proved last year that he can make things happen with not a whole lot. I mean, I think they made the playoffs on a game where Isaiah Hodgins was their number one receiver. And it was like, I think a week or two before he was coming off their practice squad. And so for me, that's why I'm going with the Giants here. I think the Giants are going to be good, actually. Like, I know we had them as a fringe playoff team in our preseason predictions. I really like what they have going on. I think they could be really good. So
well, and it's so tough, and I don't want to be like the preseason like hype guy because it is the preseason, but it's just similar though where I talked about with the Steelers, and then also with some of the other offenses that when they come out and like they just look succinct, they're like they just look fluid, they look like they know what they're doing, and that's just they're even showing you just the bare minimum on top of that. And when I watched the Giants, I believe it was the Giants. I think they were playing the Panthers, I believe it was. It just seemed like they were just easily able to get 5 yards every single time, whether they're running the ball or just throwing it through the air. They would do this play action play, and then they have three receivers roll out, one short, one middle, one deep. And Daniel Jones just has these options. And now when you add Darren Waller, if he can stay healthy, that's the biggest caveat. Isaiah Hodgins fits perfectly into that system. We know how well Darius Slayton can do. They are getting Wan'Dale Robinson back as well, and then they signed Paris Campbell in the offseason. All those guys aren't phenomenal, but they're good enough to be NFL receivers, and Daboll knows how to just scheme guys open and really get the most out of these guys' talents. And I just think that's just how this game's going to be played. I think it's going to be a lot of play action, a lot of open space for Daniel Jones, and just a lot of options for him to just make the right read. And I think it's just going to be a tough week one matchup for both teams. I think the Giants are going to be able to squeak this one out.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for this one. It's a great way to kick off Sunday Night Football. But let's go ahead and wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on who you think is going to win this first Sunday Night Football game, the Dallas Cowboys or the New York Giants. And other than that, we'll see you guys next time.